Welcome back to another episode of Black and Blue Garage. I have purchased from Harbor Freight the 20-ton central pneumatic press. And although there's tons of videos out there upgrading this press with a pneumatic jack, a crank to lift up the bottom piece and all this stuff, and wheels and stuff, I'm not going to do any videos about upgrading this press. Instead, I'm going to show you how to put it together. I did, of course, buy the pneumatic jack already, and I also bought 4 swivel wheels. I got a coupon on these for $1 off. I got a coupon on this jack for around $60 off. And I also got a coupon for the press itself for $60 off. So I'm only into this project around $300 for the press to have a pneumatic jack and some wheels, so that I can move it out of the way when I'm not using it. I know you guys are really chomping at the bit for more videos building and upgrading this Jeep Comanche. They're coming. I am waiting on parts. I'm ordering a whole bunch of stuff all at once so that I can get this thing drivable, hopefully by Christmas. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to start happening next week. I barely got this thing drugged in here. It's got to weigh as much as I do. I had a friend help me get it out of my car. So Joe Peru, if you're watching this, thanks for helping me with that. I hope my table can even support all this. Let's set these here for now. I'll get rid of the box. Step 1, using the components photo on page 9 and the parts list and assembly diagram near the end of the manual, lay out and identify all pieces before assembly. Page 9 doesn't have a photo on it. Page 11 does. Typo in the instructions, but that's okay. What I like to do when I'm building something like this is to look at the picture and kind of guess how things go together. This piece here and the piece underneath it are some things that are going to be installed last. What I'm going to do, so this goes on top, this goes in the middle, this goes up and down on the thing, and then you got your uprights and the bottom pieces. I want to take the bottom pieces, find out how they go, and weld or bolt some wheels onto it now. Like these 2 pieces bolt on the ends of this. I want to mark where I'm going to be sanding this thing down. Now, having wheels on this is going to help me for 2 reasons. For one, I'm going to be able to move it wherever I want around the shop. And 2, it's going to lift it up a little taller so that taller people can use it. Next in the instructions, and I'm sure I could go read these steps, but it seems it wants me to put the uprights on there and this little package of braces. And this kind of what holds the whole thing up. Now, there's no pressure being put on the uprights this way and that. You can tell by the pictures that these holes are toward the bottom. And so you want to get this facing outward. And then it looks like these just kind of bolt to the outside like that. Strange, but that's what they want. So that's what we'll do. And then we can work on getting these braces in there. And I'm going to assemble everything nice and loose. That way when I stand it up, it'll be wobbly, but I can adjust how plumb and level it is before I tighten all the bolts up. Now is a tricky part, just because I don't want to come off this table yet. I'm going to take the jack that I bought and set it right here, and that'll hold this other upright up so that I can get these two pieces assembled and snug down. That way I don't have to hold all these pieces at once. That piece goes on the outside of this piece. I think we've got it. A little tech topic tip for you. Boxes, chunks of wood, jack stands, ratchet straps, zip ties, duct tape, and the neighbor can help you to put all this stuff together. You can do things by yourself. Just be safe and keep your phone around in case you get hurt. You can call somebody. I kind of want to pick this thing. This out of the way. We'll just go ahead and pick these bolts up and set this on the ground somehow. Where's my big old man muscles? That's all wobbly. Woo. And there it is. We're done. I built the press. I'm impressed. Okay, so the next step to my process is I have all the bottom constructed. These two uprights are kind of on loosely. And I want to work my way up. So it looks like this piece that you press against goes on next. And I don't think that there's a top or a bottom to that. It looks like it's asymmetrical from the top and the bottom. So all I need to do is stick these pins in somewhere, probably up high so I don't have to bend over, and then set that piece on there. So here's my two pins. I'm going to put those in the topmost hole. If you don't have a whole lot of muscle, I would say this thing weighs about 45, maybe 50 pounds. So get some help. Okay. The next piece that would go in is this one, and it's captured with these 5/8 bolts. So here's what the top of the press will look like, and here's what the bottom of the top piece of the press will look like. You have a sticker on this end, and this is supposed to face the front, and then this side is blank, but on this side it has all the warnings. Instead of lifting the whole thing up and holding it there, all I've really got to do is get one bolt and washer. Because I'm going to hold this thing upside down and put this hole into there. Just like that, and let that thing hang. Now, just for safety's sake, I'm going to put the washer and the lock washer on the bolt and the nut just so that this thing doesn't fall off. But the reason I did it like that is so that this bolt will actually hold the other end of this for me while I swing it around. And because I put this hole on that one, when I swing it, those other two holes line right up. So let's kind of hold that right there. Get another 5/8 bolt. This is the point where this thing is getting really top heavy, so I'd like to encourage that you don't let go of this thing and let it fall this way, because it might tip this whole thing over and it could fall and crush things or people. So before you let go, stick another bolt in there, because having two bolts right there is actually what holds this whole thing square in the first place. Like that, see? It can wobble a little bit, but it's not going to fall over. Alright. It matters to me that this thing is nice and square, so obviously it needs to be pushed that way a little bit and true this up so that it's at least square with itself. You can see it doesn't wobble that way anymore, but it does wobble this way. I want to get this thing sit level-ish and then tighten her up. Really, I should just have to do one side if the floor is flat, which I think it is. All right. So I believe the next step in this process is to get this piece, which is what the jack rests on. We'll set that in here. These two eye bolts get bolted through the piece we just put in that holds this and some springs. As I mentioned before, I'm using this pneumatic jack, which is it also comes from Harbor Freight, and this is supposed to be the direct replacement for the jack that comes in the kit. It comes with springs, but I don't really think you need them. This has a seal kit that came with it. I'm pretty sure this comes assembled, and which means this is to replace the seals in the jack itself. I'm impressed. Other than the obvious color difference in these two things, one is taller. They're both 20-ton hydraulic jacks. This one is just over hydraulic. So it comes with this cool piston that already has a hose attached. It looks like all I need to do is hook up air, press this trigger, and it should make the jack go up and down. This has some springs on it, but you don't need the springs because the press has springs on it already. Just be careful because this will be under tension. There we go. This is going to be under tension. Oh my goodness. I don't know if they're the same kind of strength springs, but here's the ones that comes with the press. They're like a little bit longer than the ones that come on the jack, but the ones on the jack are a little bit fatter. So I don't know if I put these springs on and they don't pull the press and the jack together, I might try these ones. They might be a little stronger and they're shorter. I'm gonna hang these springs and then I'm gonna hang these on there like that. Lift this up. We'll put the nuts back on. And then I could use that like a stirrup. Pull this down, get the jack in there. Hopefully without hurting myself. I actually might be able to do that without doing that. That's a lot easier though. Cool, I guess the only thing to do is to air this up. One of the nicer things about having wheels on everything is when you have a small shop and you need some space, you can really get some things out of the way. So I've charged up my air. I want to see if this thing will press something. That is a flat can of soda, but it's not real flat. Let's see if I can make it real flat. Let's press that can between these two plates. That is one really flat can of Diet Dr. Pepper. Of course, I didn't buy this hydraulic jack just so that I could recycle my Diet Dr. Pepper cans. I've got a lot of work that I could do with it. For one, these are ball joint eliminators for a Ford high pinion Dana 44 that I got from a company called Ball Joint Eliminators. And that should be a clue on to what's coming in the next few months. I've got to pull the front axle out from under this thing and start building that. That way I can get everything mounted, have some drive shafts made from Tom Wood's custom drive shafts. get the engine running a little better, finalize the coolant system, and put some brakes on. And I could possibly be wheeling this by Christmas, if not at least just driving around in two-wheel drive. So stay tuned. I'll see you next week. God bless, and have a good weekend. It's 100% not perfect.